So it looks like Hurricane Idalia is between a Cat 3 and a Cat 4. Hopefully those that could escape evacuated and those that couldn't evacuate found a good place to bunker.
9:23. As Florida's Gulf Coast faces Hurricane Idalia, the storm is now a Category 2 hurricane.
And authorities have closed access to a number of barrier islands and beaches in one area, at least known as Pinellas County, while they are monitoring the weather conditions.
Yes, Fox Weather's Robert Ray joining us this morning from Clearwater with a live look there. Robert, you are up to your knees,
Yes.
sir.
Well, guys, good morning to you. Literally several hours ago, it was about up to here, the storm surge, past the knees. Now we've had some recession, though high tide is on the way, and the officials, we just spoke with the Clearwater Police Department, they're worried that the Gulf of Mexico may come back in and create more issues. But the storm surge, you see this, up and down Clearwater Beach in many of the areas. It depends on where you're at, how deep it is, and how significant the storm surge is. But that's why the mandatory evacuations were put into place on the barrier islands outside of Tampa, which is where we're at, Gulf of Mexico, about 2 football fields away. And that's where it all came in overnight and into this morning as Idalia moved its way up and turned into a monster Category 4 storm, making landfall at 7:45 a.m. Eastern, right just on the Big Bend, right as the Panhandle begins in Florida. And as you just said, trekking through southern Georgia as a Cat 2 at this point. Good news for this area is, like I said, I just did talk to officials on the ground here, and they are not seeing any injuries, and they're not seeing any major structural damage, at least here on Clearwater Beach. The water will be here likely well into the afternoon until after high tide and recede, and they think that most people here decided that they would evacuate like the county wanted with the mandatory evacs. So I have to say, you don't often find the silver lining in the aftermath of a Category 4 hurricane, but I think we may have found it here in Clearwater Beach. Of course, that's not going to be the case for many people on the coastline to the north of us. Some of those, if you're not familiar with the way the Big Bend works, where it goes into the Panhandle, it's a lot of forests and big loblolly pine trees, like what you see if you ever watch the Masters tournament in Augusta, and big live oak trees. And so many of those have toppled. The storm surge much higher up there, and some places upwards 10, 15 feet. So vehicles and structures not in a good position. So hopefully people left those areas. But I'll tell you this, I couldn't believe this when I thought about this morning. Yesterday at this time, the storm was a tropical storm still. Turned into a Category 1 about noon, and then think about it, less than 24 hours later, a Category 4. Rapid intensification because these waters are so warm on the Gulf of Mexico. 88, 90 degrees, high humidity, and very little wind shear. And what that means is that, to the north, you have wind that would knock down some of the energy of the hurricane. Well, that didn't exist. So it exploded, and now it landed as a Cat 4, causing a path of destruction.
Yep, as the ocean gets warmer and warmer, hurricanes and storms and stuff will be stronger and stronger, and we'll have continual historic storms and hurricanes hitting the United States.
Destruction now in southern Georgia into the Carolinas. Very fluid situation here still, as you see. The surge is moving down this incredible beachfront community in Clearwater. Guys?